School of Light. We're in First Chronicles chapter 15. Before we get started, School of Light is a non-for-profit correspondence Bible study course in multiple languages for ages 4 through adult. Advanced courses can yield college credit. Main advantage: it's a doctrinally sound tool to help you get into the Bible every day or even at your own pace and get an understanding of the Bible. So here we are, chapter 15. And the coffee of the day is Ginavalia. I personally home make it every day in a pot like a saucepan. After David had constructed buildings for himself in the city of David, he prepared a place for the ark of God and pitched a tent for it. Then David said, "No one but the Levites may carry the ark of God, because the Lord chose them to carry the ark of the Lord and to minister before him forever." And David assembled all of Israel in Jerusalem to bring up the ark of the Lord to the place he had prepared for it. He called together the descendants of Aaron and the Levites. From the descendants of Kohath, Uriel, the leader, and 120 relatives. From the descendants of Merari, Asaiah, and the leader of 220 relatives. From the descendants of Gershon, Joel, the leader, and 130 relatives. From the descendants of Elisaphan, Shemaiah, the leader, and 200 relatives. For the descendants of Hebron, Eliel, the leader, and 80 relatives. For the descendants of Uzziel, Aminadab, the leader, and 12 relatives. Then David summoned Zadok and Abiathar, the priest, and Uriel, Asaiah, Joel, Shemaiah, Eliel, and Aminadab, the Levites. He said to them, "You are the heads of the Levitical families. You and your fellow Levites are to consecrate yourselves and bring up the ark of the Lord, the God of Israel, to the place I have prepared for it. It was because you, the Levites, did not bring it up for the first time that the Lord your God, our God, broke out in anger against us. We did not inquire of him about how to do it in the prescribed way." So the priests and the Levites consecrated themselves in order to bring up the ark of the Lord and the God of Israel. The Levites carried the ark of God with the poles on their shoulders, as Moses commanded, in accordance with the word of the Lord. David told the leaders of the Levites to appoint their brothers as singers, to sing joyful songs accompanied by musical instruments, lyres, harps, and cymbals. So the Levites appointed Herdman, the son of Joel, from his brothers Asaph, son of Barakiah, and their brothers the Merarites, Ethan, son of Cushaiah, and with them their brothers next in rank, Zechariah, Jaziel, Shemaramoth, Jehiel, Uni, Eliab, Benaiah, Messiah, Matthiah, Eliphelehu, Mikneiah, Obed Edom, and Jeriel, the gatekeepers. Oof, boy, those are some tough words, tough names. Wow, those are some real tough words. The musicians, Hedman, Asaph, and Ethan, were to sound the bronze cymbals. Zechariah, Azael, Shemai, Ramoth, Jehiel, Uni, Eliab, Meselah, and Benaiah were to play the lyres according to the Alamuth, and Mattithiah, Eliphelehu, Mikneiah, Obed Edom, Jael, and Azaziah were to play the harps, directing according to Sheminith. Kenaniah, the head and Levite, was in charge of the singing. That was his responsibility because he was skillful at it. Barakiah and Elkanah were to be doorkeepers for the ark. Shebaniah, Josaphat, Nathaniel, Amasai, Zechariah, Benaiah, and Eleazar. The priests were to blow trumpets before the ark of God. Obed Edom and Jechiah were also to be door keepers for the ark. So, David and the elders of Israel, the commanders of units of 1,000, went to bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord from the house of Obed Edom, with rejoicing because God had helped the Levites who were carrying the ark of the covenant of the Lord. 7 bulls and 7 rams were sacrificed. Now David was clothed in a robe of fine linen, as were all the Levites who were carrying the ark, and as were singers, and Kenaniah, who was in charge of the singing of the choirs. David also wore a linen ephod. So all Israel brought up the ark of the covenant of the Lord with shouts, with the sounding of ram's horns and trumpets and cymbals and the playing of harps, lyres and harps. As the ark of the covenant of the Lord was entering the city of David, Michal, daughter of Saul, watched from a window, and when she saw King David dancing and celebrating, she despised him in his heart. So interesting. You see someone worshiping God, and you despise them in your heart. In this case, it was her husband. I wish I had some really deep insights. Before despising the guy or the girl who's worshiping, right? Well, Obed Edom, if we remember, went to a guy's house because they were afraid to move it anywhere else. And in the previous chapter, it said that Obed Edom's household was blessed. It was, if I can't remember the correct word, I think blessed would kind of cover it. So the Ark of the Covenant was at Obed Edom's house, and then his household became blessed. He was there. The Ark of the Covenant was the presence of God, the tablet, the staff of Moses, and a jar of manna. And it was there. The man's house became blessed. So the great insight is your house. How would you get your... Good morning, bro.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
It's cold up there.
Is it?
I get anything from town today?
No.
Mom's asleep.
Yeah, she's sleeping.
Okay. If you think of anything, if she wakes up in the hall,
Just have her call you? Okay.
yeah, if she needs anything.
Okay. Bueno.
I'll get you guys a pozole today or noodles.
Okay, brother. Have a good one, man.
That was a good one from Sanders.
Yeah, it's alright. Pozole might be better, because, like,
Oh, menudo cachopa.
well, no, it just had, like, a little bit of a... It wasn't really too clean there. Yeah. I mean, it might have been clean. It just...
Yeah, never mind.
Not the way Daddy or...
Pozole better, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sometimes the menudo's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get you guys pozole or something today or tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, I just noticed a kind of bump right there on my wrist. So, he had the presence of God in his household, and the Bible says that they were blessed. I mean, loosely paraphrasing it, right? So, the application, this would be the Ark of God in a way. Put this word in your heart. You're the Ark of God, carrying the manna in you, carrying authority of the rod in you. What else did I say was in there? The manna, the staff, and the 10 Commandments. The word, the authority, the staff, and the manna, which is also the word. And you have to do it daily. So it becomes, so you have spiritual strength. Then finally, Micah, King David, despising King David. He was, some versions say that he was down to his loincloth and he was excited, praising God. And people thought he might have been drunk or something. And she looked at him kind of like, you're supposed to be the king, but you're making a fool of yourself. You're dancing in front of God, and you're like the most extreme one. Perceptions. I think she was concerned about perceptions. Not, and David wasn't. He was just concerned about what God's perception was. So, God bless you all. I hope those help. Have a good day.